Hello. Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see you. I think I'm actually a couple of minutes early, which had to happen one time. I'm usually a few minutes late, but I just thought I'd come on here as I was ready, and so I just got us started. So I'm hoping you can hear me well. My microphone phone looks as though it's performing okay. I can see a little level on the screen, and I think you see me on the camera. I know Sue Ellen's here, so I'm sure she'll let me know if she can see and hear me okay. So, as always, thank you for joining me on a Tuesday. It's a very dark Tuesday evening here for me. 8 o'clock it is in the UK, but I know you're just getting going on your day in the States. So lovely. Well, noon, I suppose you noon onwards, isn't it? That I'm speaking to you all there. So, this week I wanted to have a little look at the iPad. Obviously, I've had a few people ask me, if you're going to have an iPad and you wanted to use Procreate and to be able to then move things into Adobe or into other things on your PC, which one would you use? So that's what I thought I'd look at, and particularly because Christmas and holidays is just round the corner. Santa might be going to drop a little prezi in your Christmas stocking. So I thought it'd be good to have a little look at that. I would love to say hello and welcome to everyone. I can see Sue Ellen's here, but I know there are some others as well. So I'd love it if you want to pop in the comments and say hi and tell me where you're from. Don't be shy. We're all pals together here. And I love it that you can join me live, but I also love that you come back and join me later if it's doesn't fit in with your schedule, if you're a bit busy. I know Tamara, who was one of the ladies I spoke to yesterday, on Messenger, that she's one of the ladies that was looking at iPad and Procreate. So I think she'll be joining us in the replay. And Diana Holland, I was know, joins us from Australia because it's really early over there. I can see Sue Ellen saying, my garage is finally cleaned up and I'm starting to feel recovered from making myself stick from overdoing it. Well done. So that's good. So you're all tidied and sorted and organised. I'm getting there, but not quick enough really for my liking. But slowly but surely, I'm making progress. So the first thing I'd like to do is I'm going to share my screen because what I did this afternoon, I'm hoping you can see it well enough. There we go. I think that's probably okay. You can see that there. So what I've done in here, I went into the Procreate app and asked it which iPad models you can use Procreate with. And so you can see a huge list there. They're not all very new. I originally started, I had an iPad mini. I think it was an iPad, so it was like iPad mini 4. And that was the first one I started with. And I've got to say, I love it. I love that now I have a bigger screen. I'm very lucky. But if, iPad mini 4 is what you've got and what you're going for, you will still be able to use Procreate and many other apps with that. So then if we go further up, you can see the iPad 2 Air is there. We go further up, you can see here iPad, all those generations up to there. Then we start going into iPad Pro, iPad Pro 10.5 inch and 11 inch. And I'm really very lucky that a couple of years ago I got the iPad 12 inch and mine's 6th generation. So, but as I say, if one of the others is what you have or what you're going to get, don't worry because honestly, I managed with a mini for a long time. And probably if I just flick over to my iPad screen. Let me just have a little, see if I can flick over to that for you, my other camera. I would say my iPad mini, that's my 12:9 now, so you can see how big my hand is on there. So my iPad mini was probably half, probably a little bit less even, than the size of that screen. So don't let that put you off if that's what you've got. Um, you know, as I say, I love it as you hear me often spouting with lots of praise for Procreate. So I'm just going to go back to and have a little look at me. I think you can see me now. And I The other thing that often you get asked about is which pencil. Well, the iPad that you pick dictates the pencil that you have. So this is the second generation pencil. You can see that there. And that is the one that goes with the iPad that I've got now. But when you go to buy your iPad, it will tell you which one to use. My iPad mini had a first generation iPad, first generation pencil, but this one that I've got now, this is the one it uses, the iPad. It's the Apple Pencil second generation. And I've got to say, I know there are other styluses out there. I've never used any of them. I can only talk about the ones that I've used, and they're both the Apple Pencils, and I love them. There's you obviously get all that pressure sensitivity for Procreate and for other apps when you use the Apple Pencil. So I would highly recommend that if that's in your budget. So, should we have a little look at my iPad and see what we're going to do? I just want to demo a couple of things today. Let me just see if I can wake this up. I'm going to stand up over it because I think it's a little bit better. Oh, it's happy. There we go. So that was something I thought I'm going to show you how we can move this from. See if I can move over a little bit brighter there. How we can move this into Adobe later on. But first of all, so I'm just going to go out of my iPad. You can see here, I mean, I have many apps on here. And one of the things, when you download Procreate, it actually, I looked today, and it's actually either $10 in which will be for you guys in the States, or in the UK it's £10. And I think it's the best £10 I've ever spent. Let me just see if we go to the app and let's have a little look. So much information. And I know Sue Ellen it's like preaching to the choir, talk to Sue Ellen, because she's in my Procreate membership, so she knows all about it. So this is a Procreate here. This is the new app that's coming, Procreate Dreams, which you don't have to have. I will be buying it. It's the animation, so you can do more animations. But what I've had for a long time is Procreate. That's all well, at the moment, that's all there technically is until next week on the 22nd. But as I say, it shows you here, let's get started. I'm not sure what the sound will be like on this, but it's a beginner series. There you go. So just showing you some of the things. That's like the colour palette, using different brushes. As I say, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but, can't get enough of Procreate, to be honest. So, okay, so I'm just going to go back out of that. Now I'm now going to go into Procreate. And I know one of the things that Tamara particularly asked me was about moving things from one app to the other. One of the things I don't know if my iPad did it when I first got it, or I just didn't realise, but you can actually split your screen. And you see the little three dots. You might not be able to see them, but on your own you will. And so I'm on full screen at the moment. I can have split view. So that means I can open something else. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to open Adobe Illustrator, because it's one of the things I do quite a lot is I draw in Procreate and then I move the file straight into Adobe Illustrator. So I've got this file here. You can see it's got lots of detail on, but to make it easy to move it across, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the one layer for now. The two layers for now. What I did was I grouped these together earlier. So if I just press on there, it will turn off everything except that. So all I've got lit on that now in that group is the letter P and that first little bit of detail down here, this. So you can drag things across one layer at a time, but if they're grouped like that, we'll be able to do two. So I'm just going to open a letter size here, which I know you have in the States. It's quite often what you use. That doesn't actually look like letter size, but we'll not get too worried about that because it is just to show you how easy it is to move things across. So I've just opened a canvas, an artboard in Adobe Illustrator, whatever size it is that you want to use, But as I say today, I've just made it easy and gone with that. And then literally I've gone into here and see my group. That's what I want to move across. So I'm going to click on there with my finger and drag it across and drop it. And that's it. We have now moved those two files that have taken the back, the white as well, across into Adobe Illustrator. It's that easy. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my Adobe Illustrator. I mean, you can use that, I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm sure you can do the same if it's that you use Affinity or Photoshop, or I'm guessing there, but I presume because it's all very similar. And Photoshop is part of the Adobe suite, so if they do it for Illustrator, I'm sure they'll do it for Photoshop. So you can see there, that's the whole image that I've got. Oops, tap that back. So you can see it's brought the whole image over. And if we look in the layers panel, you can see that's the whole thing at the top, and it is made up of two layers. So one has the, oops, click on the right one. One is, no, it still doesn't want to move it. I don't know why I keep doing that. There we go, that looks better. Right, I'm just going to move this out of the way because it obviously doesn't want to do it. There we go. So that's the one layer, that's the little leaf that I've moved there. And then I'm going to click on this one, and you can see that the P is separate. And it looks as though it has taken the layers separately, actually. So at the moment, though, that is, it's an image that we've taken in. So if we try to increase the size of it, eventually it would just get, it would go out of proportion because we've not, it's still a raster image, and we want to vectorize it so we can make it any size we like. So I'm going to check I'm on the right layer. And I'm going to click this little button here. We're getting a little bit of Adobe demo as well today. That's it. So it's opening it, and it's now, I vectorized it. It's asking me, do I like how it looks? Well, I can see I've got a little bit that it's missed out there. But as it's all in one colour, I'm not going to worry because I can tidy that up afterwards. So I'm literally just going to say yes to that. Obviously, you could change whether it's a sketch, black and white or whatever, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to do it. So we're happy with that. I don't always ignore white, but I'm going to on this occasion, and then we know that it's going to take it away. Ignore the white. If we click this here, or this here, it doesn't matter really which way we do it, it will expand that. And that image is now a vectorized image. So I'm just going to click on it and move it. If I ungroup it, you see there it's got all those little bits in. Well, we want all of those because that's what makes up the piece. I'm going to group them together again. But what I'm going to do, has it kept that background in? Yeah, it has, hasn't it? Okay, we'll not worry about it today. Keep saying about everything. I'm going to move it back, and what I'm just going to show you is how we can easily fill in this here, this little bit here. So I'm just going to click on the pen tool, scary pen tool in Procreate, and I'm going to put myself a dot down, 2 dots, that's the trouble, touch there, okay. I'm laughing to myself because when I practiced this earlier it was fine. I didn't want to do it from, oh I know, it's because I've got white filled in, that's why. I'm sure you can all do this much neater than I have, but for today it will suffice. So you can see now it's filled in that, so you've got your black completely filled in. Now obviously if I was going to use this, I would make it a lot neater, I would tidy it up, but as I say, I just wanted to show how easy it is to move it across. And then this was my other little image here. So we're going to tap on that, and we know it's not vectorized because it doesn't have the blue around it. But if we click on, to check and that is all that's in there, click on here to ask it to work it out. Now it's asked it to do it as line art, and obviously clearly it's not because it has colour, so I'm just going to change that to colour, colour mode, colour, and it hopefully it will now bring it in as black and white. I mean, it is something you could just have changed that to black and white before you brought it across. So you can see that I'm not unhappy with that. That looks quite crisp. I'm going to ask it to ignore the white. And then Maybe I didn't ignore the white. Maybe I clicked it and I shouldn't have done. Ask it to vectorize it, which it's now done. It's expanded it. And then we're going to click on it and see how many little bits of layers we've got there. I think it is just one layer anyway. Yeah, it is. So that's cleared that. You know, I mean, if you use Adobe Illustrator and Procreate, you know the virtues. So just want to go back. So I'm going to go back into Procreate, and that was that image, you know, and you could do that with whatever. I just find it a lot easier. What I'll do a lot of the time is I draw in Procreate. I actually make pattern designs in Procreate as well. And I do, you know, we create that. We do that in my membership as well. But also I transfer things into Adobe Illustrator, and you can see how easy it is. Let me find something else. Just do something that was just black and white, to be honest. So yeah, how she comes out. She all on one layer? No. So what I'm going to do, to give you another example here, I'll turn the layer off behind her. I'm just going to drag 3 fingers down, click copy all, and then I'm going to click paste, so I can just drag that layer, click paste. And she is now on a layer of her own. You can see there. So I'll show you again how I did that with Adobe. Click on the 3 dots at the top, split the view, click on Adobe. I'm just going to put it in that same file because we're just having a little play. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't need to go on an artboard. I'm going to just then drag that across, drop it in, and hopefully, now see that's put it on the artboard. It's like, no, it should belong in an artboard. There you go. This should change to vectored a lot easier because you can see it is all quite simple lines. Of course, that's famous last words, me saying that. I'm just going to click back on the 3 dots at the top. Move it on full screen. And we might as well vectorize as soon as we're here, mightn't we? So click on vectorize. There you go. I mean, that's come up really crisp, really sort of solid colours. Don't think there's any white in there. Well, now I've caught something, so I might have to go back. Can't see what has changed, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to click on ignore white, but I don't think there is any white anyway because we wrote it in without a background. And then I'm going to click expand vectorization, expand object. You can see now it's got that blue hue to it there. And if I was to click on it, if I was to ungroup that, you would have lots of layers. So obviously you want to keep that all together. And there's your lady. So now, you know, you can make her huge now and you won't lose any of the definition. Keep my finger on there, you know. So really easy to be able to do that. You know, and you can drag things into photographs. That's the other thing that I've done. This is already in my photos, but I'll show you nonetheless if I can find the file. Let's try this one. What it'll do is it'll not take the background, it'll just take the image because that's what all I've got there. 3 dots at the top, split view, and certain photographs. This is obviously going to prove me wrong because this is what happens when I do things on the hoof. But I think it's good to just have a try these things, open photographs. And so now I'm going to say I want to drag it across. No, did we get it or did we not? All photos. Wait. I don't know why when I asked for all photographs to get the very top. Very strange. Oops. You know, it would be easier if I just clicked yours. Oh, it says my dad. That was yesterday. Yeah, so you can see here it has taken it across. And literally, it took across the layer that I'd highlighted, which was this one here. I don't know how well you can see that. If I ask it to just turn on that layer and go out, you can see there. So it's taken that across, and that's just into photographs. So that's just to show you sort of how, you know, easy it is to move things around within the iPad, whether you're moving them to photographs or whether you're moving them to, I'm going to come back on screen. There we go. or whether you want to move them into Adobe Illustrator. It's really, I mean, obviously, like anything, it takes practice, but it's super easy. There's not lots of, there's no programming, there's nothing difficult. And even before you could do that, because that's, well, seems like quite a recent thing, it was Vonnie. It's a wonder Vonnie's not with us this evening, but she'll probably watch later. It was Vonnie that pointed that out to me, because originally when I started my iPad mini, if I wanted to put things into Adobe Illustrator, I just used to email myself them all, save them as a photograph, and then drag it across. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that is just super quick doing it like that. So I hope that helps. It's 18 minutes past 8 here. So if there's any questions, anything I can help you with, Sue Ellen, please just let me know. And if anyone else watches in the replay, you can always put something in the comments, and I will always do my best, very best to help you. So I hope you get to see this tomorrow. And anyone else who's adding an iPad to their Christmas stocking list or think they're going to buy Procreate, as I say, I love it. It's changed everything for me and improved, not improved my ability to draw. I came to drawing late in life. I was drew as a child and then lost confidence through a teacher and was silly enough to not bother drawing anymore. And then I met Anna Follett, who I'm sure you all know and love. And Anne gave me the confidence to try. She said, if you can write, you can draw, practice. And I do. And I doodle every day. I have to just about have that iPad surgically removed from my hand. But I do draw. I put my little notebook out in case I want to show you. Actually, I do draw in my little notebook as well. Even if I'm just sat, there's some of the doodles that I was doing the other day. I'm very much into this. I don't know, do they call it mind slow drawing? When you're not too focused on, you literally just spend the time and that type of thing I've done. And then I'm not sure if that might be in my other note. I'm a nightmare for having about 3 books on the go, and that was another one. I'm really into doing those at the moment. Now I don't know if that's got a name. Can't find the page. There we go, because I can't see. I just start off with a little rounded square or oblong, and then I start adding other shapes beside them. So I'm into those. I'm always into drawing flowers, but you can see by my style of drawing, I'm not I'm not Picasso, but as Anne always says, Picasso's taken. Somebody already is Picasso. But it really helped me with my drawing. There you go. You see, that was when I was meant to be doing the weather. Wrong way. It's meant to be doing the weather and some little bits and bobs that I did there. So just looking at what you've got there. Oh, the other bit, in case you're wondering, because it looked really really random. Accumulation is key. I was on an environmental talk, which was brilliant, and so that's what all that waffle is. But as you can see, I can't not doodle, and mostly I doodle on my iPad. Sorry, I've gone on now. It's now after 20 past. So I'm going to let you go, and I will see you next Tuesday, which is the 21st of November. We're hurtling towards Christmas, the holidays, Hanukkah, and lots of celebrations ahead. So it's lovely to see you as always. Thank you so much for joining me live, and thank you so much if you're watching the replay. If there's anything I can help you with, just send me a messenger, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye. Bye bye.